So the Senate had an opportunity today to check the power of Ryan Walters, our superintendent, and they chose not to. Our Republican colleagues are not stepping up to put kids first. They did not put the resolution on the agenda. And when we asked to be recognized to hear the resolution and reject the social studies standards and make sure that our kids are being taught facts and appropriately, they would not hear it and they would not recognize us. So that's where we are right now.
Is there a possibility that it could be heard before the end of the day?
This is the last day. As far as we can understand, it has to go through by Thursday. And so we believe this is the last day. Now, you know, the Senate and the House can move things through in one day if they choose to suspend the rules, but they would have to have enough support to suspend the rules. That's 2/3 of the body. And we haven't even seen a majority willing to reject the standards.
Obviously, I'll wait a second.
Okay.
I handle this job as quickly as I can.
Okay. While they're kind of setting up, obviously we've been seeing some, maybe some tactics today. Senator Bourne on the floor right there, reading off what seemed like the entire bill for a totally different thing. Can you talk about what you guys are trying to do today and what you're hoping for? Obviously trying to get that bill on the floor, correct?
Well,
the resolution.
Yeah, the Senate Democrats have taken every tactic and strategy possible to get the social studies standards rejected. We've tried persuading behind closed doors. We've talked to House and Senate. We've tried to work with the State Department and the board members. We have tried every tactic and strategy we can to make sure these standards are rejected. They are too political. They are dangerous for kids. And we are not checking Superintendent Walters sufficiently. We have been working hard to try to push back against Walters' agenda. And yet again, we see the Republicans unwilling to stand up on it. And so there's very few things we can do at that point. One of those is take time on bills. We choose to let things be very efficient in the Senate most of the time, but today we're not going to let that happen because we don't think the right things are on the agenda.
Yesterday there was a closed-door meeting in the Republican caucus involving the state superintendent, and Senator Pugh, the education chair, proposed a resolution just like you guys to deny them. Did you hear anything that came out of that? Talk with anybody on that? Maybe Senator Pugh even?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for any of the Republicans. All I know is what actions are happening and not happening, which has not been put on the agenda. It's not been changed. Yes, I'm glad that was filed, but nothing since then.
So it's just a matter of the SJR 20 not being on the agenda today, or has it been made clear to you at all that it's not going to be taken today?
That's the only direct information we have. Yeah. And we're trying to be recognized to move Senate Joint Resolution 19 direct to calendar, because that's another option that we could move, and we're not being recognized for that.
I'm sorry I was late, Senator.
Any other questions?
Yes, I'm sorry I was late. But could you just synthesize what you think is happening with respect to those standards? I mean, there just doesn't appear to be much will on the side of Republicans to stop those standards from taking effect.
Yeah, I mean, again and again, we're seeing Republicans unwilling to stand up to Superintendent Walters, even when the evidence is there, even when people across the state are asking us to take another look and make sure these are correct for what we teach kids across the state. We're talking about what we teach them about government, what we teach them about history. And I take that seriously. And it matters to us what our kids are learning. I have an 8th grader, I'm an 11th grader. That's going to matter to their education. Next year, these standards will be used. And so if we're not concerned about that, we need to reconsider, because what is taught in our classrooms is incredibly important. And we're taking every strategy we can to push back against this.
Forgive me if you've spoken on this already. Kind of what is your game plan for the rest of the day? Is it kind of slow things down? What are you guys planning?
Well, we're going to continue to try to be recognized, because a resolution could still move forward. We're continuing to plead with our colleagues to take action. I think what you see is our disappointment that the agenda doesn't include what's most important to our kids. We're sitting around talking about food trucks. We're sitting around talking about sports divisions. Meanwhile, these are going to go into place. We're going to have textbooks for our children, and our classrooms will be focused on these politicized measures that have been written by political hacks from outside of our state. And if we're not concerned enough to put that on the agenda and take a vote on it, that deeply disturbs me about the business of the Senate.
Have any of your Republican colleagues privately aired any concerns that they have over these standards?
Yeah, absolutely. But if they're not public, how do they help us, at this point? I mean, a month ago, I was fine with having those conversations. But if it never becomes action, then it's not taking it seriously enough.